What is up, everyone? Horny Alf back for another 40K reaction video. And I said this on my last video, I have really thoroughly been enjoying 40K, these these dives into 40K. Because of that and wanting to do more content, I am doing everything I can to avoid any kind of 40K lore other than playing the video games, but those don't really give that much information. But I have to say, my videos have been doing very well on my channel, and the only people I can thank is the crazy but awesome 40K audience out there. Those of you that are watching my videos, providing all those comments, giving me suggestions for future content. You guys are awesome. Thank you. But today, we're looking at another Bricky video, and we're going to be watching his uh, every Warhammer. So let me read that. Yeah, every single Warhammer Space Marine Legion in a nutshell. I'm looking forward to this. I don't know much about the Space Marines other than what he put in his timeline video, which was not much. And from what I've seen in the games and Space Marine 2, it's primarily focused on the Ultramarines, which I think, the way I understand talking to other people that are big into 40K, that is kind of the quintessential, Space Marine Legion. Well, I know they're not legions now, but that everyone it kind of sees when it comes to 40K. But I'm looking at diving into the other legions and their lore and their backstories, their prime arcs. So I think we're gonna get that today. And before I start this video, you can see all of Bricky's links. I will have his YouTube link in my description for this video. Go check him out yourself. He took the time to make his video, which we're reacting to. So go check out his stuff. So let's go ahead and get this thing started.
Hello everybody, my name is Bricky, currently stuck in the walls of the most prodigious school in the Imperium by punishment for falling asleep during class. God bless the Schola Progenium. Many of you have come across my Every Faction Explained video. Firstly,
yes, that was the first video I reacted to. I enjoyed it thoroughly. He focuses mainly on the Imperium, which is really cool. I didn't get to do the first video of his I ever watched was the timeline 40K Warhammer timeline explained. I watched that offline. I don't have a reaction to it. However, I am working up on recording with another fellow YouTuber to record that and let him react to it, and me and him discuss it as we go through it. So just stay tuned for that. But let's get this going again.
thank you. Secondly, we are here to dig a little deeper. Space Marines are the quintessential poster boys of Warhammer 40,000. When people think 40K, they think Space Marines, but there are many types of Space Marines, formed from 20 separate legions. We are going to rattle them off in order and give you a quick rundown of each one. A disclaimer, like in my Every Faction Explained video, this is a mix of accuracy and memes. If I say the Salamander's Legion specializes in hugging children and petting puppies, they aren't exactly doing that.
No.
Mostly. I would like to pet this creature.
Where is that from? Where's that from? No, I like going on what he just said. He mentioned serious but also memes. This is what he does with his videos, which is really what got me into searching through this lore. I like the comedic input, but he does touch on some serious things too. But before we go on, I meant to ask this at the beginning of the video. For those of the people that are watching this, what is your favorite Space Marine Legion or chapter? Let me know in the comments and let me know why. So far, I just know about the Ultramarines. I've heard a little bit about the others. I heard about the Salamanders. They seem cool too. But yeah, let me know.
Or that they care about civilians and are a bit kinder than the average Space Marine. A Space Marine being a genetically modified super soldier that's had a
Dude,
million
where's that
new
video
and
from?
terrifying organs.
Was that in Space Marine 2? I must have glossed over that when I was playing the game. That's cool, them showing him putting the undersuit on for the armor.
shoved into them, refrigerators strapped to their bodies,
Yeah, that's
and are
gotta be
so
from Space
far
Marine 2.
above the average human that they are referred to as demigods instead. Each Space Marine has a father, unlike you, a Primarch, which is basically an even bigger Space Marine that was forged in a lab by the God Emperor of mankind, that gigantic
Biggie!
golden dude you see everywhere, who is both the leader and now the martyr of humanity. The Primarchs are his 20 sons, built in a lab, who lead 20 legions of Space Marines, who are...
So I've heard him on previous videos. He would start with 20 and then he corrects himself, says 19. I've heard kind of an explanation behind that, but I hope he digs more into that during this video.
their sons, not from a lab, but rather a dissection table, giving them the powers and skills of their associated Primarch via a gene seed, a special organ carrying the genetic makeup of their Primarch.
Yeah, he talked about the
and,
gene seed stealers
seed.
in the last
so
video.
Jagatai Khan of the White Scars has the genetic makeup that wants him to go really, really fast. Then his sons, the Space Marines, also want to go really, really fast. I should note that I am only referring to the legions this time around. If you're interested in sub-factions like, let's say, the Black Templars, then it's not going to be here. However, I do have a excellent Black Templar video. I'd argue it's probably the most accurate one I can think of. It goes through the whole lore, everything about them. It's a very long video, and I'll put it in this.
So I know that the on the Imperial side, they're not legions anymore. They were broken up into 1,000 Marine chapters. I don't know if Bricky has a video where he goes over each of the chapters themselves, but if you know of any creators that have done that in the past, put it in my comments, please.
Description. Just look up Black Templar video in the description. You'll get what you need. And now, with the easy explanation out of the way, let us begin with our first legion. Dark Angels. Allegiance? Loyal.
Oh.
Primarch Lion L. Johnson, a duelist, a knight, a real asshole, I'm not gonna lie. The single word descriptor?
Why is he an asshole?
Paranoid. The Dark Angels are our first legion, hailing from the death world known as Caliban. Their Primarch, Lion L. Johnson.
What is a death world? I've heard of hive worlds. I've heard of night worlds. Explain to me, what's a death world?
What happens when you try to make the side profile Chad meme into a genuine character. He is a master tier duelist, a brilliant strategist, and an overall dick. There are few situations he isn't prepared for, and few fights he isn't ready to lead head on. This makes the Dark Angels have a very Knights of the Round Table vibe. They look like the knights of old with these large suits of power armor, often donning robes and...
So, the wings on the helmet, that reminds me of the Numenorians' helmets from Lord of the Rings. That's pretty cool.
hoods. Their names also follow this. They have like Ezekiel, Azrael, Belial, Samuel, and so on. However, the common thing associated with Dark Angels are the Fallen, a part of their faction that turned traitor against the Imperium, and they are very heavily trying to expunge all knowledge of them from existence. Fallen? What Fallen? Never heard of any Fallen. Do you know about the Fallen? We're gonna take you away and mind probe you to make sure you have never heard.
So they had a portion of their legion split off and fell. It seems like they are either by keeping it a secret, trying to get back into a better reputation, but how many people actually know of this fallen portion of their legion? How common knowledge is that?
The Fallen definitely don't exist, and if they do exist, which they don't, we will find them even though they don't exist. They love their interrogations. They thrive in it. Lionel Johnson is a scorched earth policy sometimes, and it's given to his sons in force, which makes sense considering that when the Lion heard of a Chaos Primarch on a homeworld different Primarch, whose mom was there, he was like, let's nuke it. The Dark Angels are a special group where they formulate themselves into 3 different factions. The Deathwing Terminators, slow-moving, tough phalanx. The Raven Wing, fast jet bikes and flyers. And the Green Wing, which is your standard Marines. They are a jack of all trades, but not in the sense where they're good at everything, but rather they have a lot of things that are good at specific things. Like instead of 20 people that have a multi-tool, they instead have 20 people with gigantic power tools for every job imaginable. If you like being...
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I thought the Ultramarines were considered like the jack of all trades Marine faction, but maybe I'm wrong. I thought he said that in a previous video.
suspicious about everyone and everything in your surroundings, but you also like to have a whole lot of deep night type lore, run the Dark Angels.
The One Piece! The One Piece is real!
Our second Legion
One
is a
Piece.
special one.
Uh-oh.
If you can see, the numbers all go to 11.
The Emperor's Children.
Wait a minute. He just glossed over the second Legion. What was that all about? Unless he's about to get into it, but he moved right to the third Legion. Maybe he'll talk about that later.
Allegiance, traitor. Primarch, Fulgrim, a perfectionist, an artist, a sneaky snake. And the
So
single word
traitors
descriptor,
is one of the chaos.
perfection. The Emperor's Children
Marines?
are all about the pursuit of perfection. Perfection in all they do. Perfection in war, in artistry, and perfection in every other aspect of life. Their armor is a gleaming pink, purple, and gold. Their ships have spires of gorgeous marble and gold statues in their honor. Fulgrim is a man who believes the pursuit of perfection is the goal of all things. And I mean, look at him. Can you truly
Reminds me of in ancient Rome, the royal color was purple. It reminds me of that. So everything around the emperor was purple in Roman times. But interesting.
tell me that he is not perfect? The hair, the feature,
Flowing
as
locks.
Go, he is the one you look at, and if 40K had a guy that would give you the best sex you've ever had and never call you back, this is the fucking guy. Which is why this pursuit of decadence led them to the evils of chaos. Yes, Emperor's Children are our first Chaos Legion, and not just a normal one. One devoted to, you guessed it, Slaanesh, the prince
Yeah,
of
I saw that
pleasure
coming.
god.
Saw that coming. The purple, and then Slash uses shades of purple and pink. Yeah, that makes sense.
Of unspeakable excess. The Emperor's Children in their pursuit are now horrifyingly mutated beings through Slaanesh's great will. They torture and maim to feel perfection through pain.
Yep, my last video I had questions about the Chaos Marines, about if they mutate the longer they're associated with Chaos, and I had quite a few of you telling me yes, that does happen. So
They screech and attack with sonic weaponry for perfection through sound, and they slaughter, aiming for perfection in war. Fulgrim himself lost the battle against Slaanesh as a demon sword corrupted his mind and transformed him into the sexy man he was, into the sexy snake he is now. A demon Primarch, corrupted and bringing his
He has a
legion's
tail now?
will by himself. As far as Emperor's Children go, they are some bad people. They do horrible things to anyone and everything. In
Wicked.
fact, they're such trolls that their battle cry is
Dude.
for the
that art is fantastic and horrifying at the same time. That'll give you nightmares.
Emperor, despite being horribly mutated and corrupted. If you've ever taken a little too much of a drug, or maybe the music at a concert was too loud and you didn't bring any earplugs, or whatever the reason, you just take all those things and you dial it, and you dial it, and you twist it, and the knob breaks. And that is the Emperor's Children.
God is dead.
Sounds
God, we mean
That's crazy, and that goes fully in line with everything he talked about with Slaanesh, and it's all about excess and satisfying your urges to the maximum. All right.
dead, and we have killed him.
The Iron Warriors. Allegiance, traitor. Primarch, Perturabo, a
He
warlord,
looks like a
a
machine.
siege smith, an incel. Single word descriptor, siege. Continuing the trend of our Chaos
Oh.
Legions, we have the
I think he said this in the last video. He said they're the polar opposite of the Imperial Fist Marines, who specialize in defense and defensive tactics. Cool.
Chaos Legions, we have the Iron Warriors led by Primarch Perturabo of Olympia. To understand the Iron Warriors, though, one must first understand Perturabo. A man so bitter coffee beans run for light. A man who hates the world and everyone in it, who never got recognition for his deeds, who hates his brothers and hates their accomplishments even more. Someone so laughably petty, so incredibly bitter that he goes full circle to becoming likable. Why? because he's competent. The Horus Heresy, we didn't talk about the Horus Heresy. Intermission. So
Here we
Horus
go.
was the Emperor's favorite son, right? You know, so the Emperor walked into his room. Horus said, Dad, I just gifted 150 subs to Amaranth, and she said my name a ton, and she loved me for it. I really think that I might get to meet her one day. And it kind of played out something like this.
Your feelings for her are not real. They are real to me.
And then it started playing out a little bit more like this.
Let the seas boil. Let the
Whoa.
stars fall.
What is that from? Is there an animated film for this? Is that from another game? That is crazy looking. The mechs, wow.
So it takes the last drop of my blood.
I want
Yeah.
to see whatever that is.
So Iron Warriors, the Horus Heresy wouldn't have gotten shit done without Peter Turbo. Imagine an entire faction that is the
Turbo.
personification of brutal industrialism, where you serve the Legion until your dying breath. You build and you kill and you siege and you kill and you literally summon demons just to take them and trap them in machines and use them as cannon fodder. This is a thing they do. They summon demons to
Is that Thomas the Tank Engine? But that is cool. They captured demons and put them in their machines to make them run. That's pretty wicked.
trap and use as shock troops. The Iron Warriors are siege warfare incarnate. They are heavy weapons, they are tanks, they are turrets, and they don't die. They hate Imperials, they hate Imperial fists.
Do you need a pacifier, Iron Baby? No! No, I don't!
They are bitter incarnates.
Where is that from?
Perturabo and the Iron
I want to watch those.
Warriors don't serve the Chaos Gods because they like them. They serve them because fuck you.
Come on, guys, let's go.
Not another speeding ticket. I'll fight it in court, but I don't think they're gonna accept gotta go fast as a medical condition.
The White Scars. Allegiance, Loyalist. Primarch, Jagatai Khan, a speed demon, a plane strider, a roast god. Single word descriptor, speed. Hailing from Chagoris. The White Scars are all about speed. They love melee, but
go
they love it
fast.
even more when they are doing it from a motorcycle or land speeder. Or honestly, just running really damn fast. The White Scars are honestly forgotten about a lot, and that's lore
Aw.
accurate. They are a legion that doesn't seek the recognition or glory from the
Dude,
combat they
that's
engage
cool. I love the art. All the art that is put into this, whether it's fan-made or official, is phenomenal. That power armor and a eagle on his shoulder, that's just epic. And it looks like a Roman gladius, or that's probably a power sword, but yeah, that's cool.
in. They engage in it because it is their duty and because they love it. Not in the insane slaughter enjoyment of loving it, but in the thrill of the fight. They are known as the Laughing Killers because they ride into battle with a smile on their face and
Their aesthetic, the way they fight, reminds me of Mongolians. Mongolians rode on horseback. They were known for lightning fast warfare. You know, that seems very much what aesthetic they're going after.
a chuckle in their throat. And as you can tell by their Primarch's name, they are Mongolian based. Remove horses and replace
There he goes. I guessed it right.
them with motorcycles and land spears, and that's your style. They are heavily based on the old times of Genghis Khan, and you consider this is 40k and everybody's evil. You know, that fits. The White Scars are
Yeah.
actually physical scars on their body, going back to their heritage on Chagoris. The Khan himself is kind of a dickhead, but a reasonable one. He thinks ahead, he's intelligent, he's patient. He is often underestimated because he doesn't scream his accomplishments from the rooftops, which is what makes him and the White Scars dangerous. His skills are kept at bay, only to be truly shown when the time is needed. The White Scars are a forgotten legion often, but that doesn't diminish their accomplishments. All it does is surprise those who underestimate them. Speed, awesome Mongolian vibe they got going on, and if you really like to stab people, that's the White Scars for you. Shameless thirst break.
So the White Scars are modeled after Genghis Khan and the Mongolian style warfare, lightning fast warfare. I like it. That's cool.
Woof, woof, woof. Woof, bitch.
The Space Wolves. Allegiance, Loyalist. Primarch, Lehman Russ. A Viking, a Savage, the Undertaker. Single word descriptor, wolf, 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 wolf. There's so many goddamn wolf units. Skater.
I will say I like these Space Marines just for the aesthetic so far of what I've seen with the wolf pelts and very Viking-esque. And I think he even mentioned that in one of his videos. Very Viking-esque aesthetic. I dig it.
How many units in the Space Wolves Codex have the word wolf in their name? The Space Wolves are the 6th Legion and hail from Fenris, a frozen wasteland of a
Look
world
at
with
that
their
planet.
Primarch, Lehman Russ. I don't really need to spend a whole lot of time talking about the Space Wolves because it's very obvious.
They need to get, if they ever depict, is Lehman Russ still alive? And if not, if they ever, when they do the 40K Warhammer show on Amazon, if they depict him, dude, you could just bring in Chris Hemsworth looking like a Viking again, like Thor, and get him to play Lehman Russ. That'd be freaking cool. Or one of the Skarsgårds.
Obvious who they are. They are the second most obvious what their shtick is Legion in the 20 legions besides the World Eaters. When you look at the Space Wolves behind, what do you see? Do you see Vikings in space? You've done it. Congratulations, you have found Vikings in space. But they have as much in common with a regular Marine as an all-day Viking with like a Roman soldier. You see, as a Space Marine, your body is so enhanced that you filter out poison, and so you can't get drunk. The Space Wolves distill a special mead out of a horrible poisonous plant that would kill a normal human so they could get drunk. They have fangs.
So they make a special poison mead to get drunk. That's pretty that's out there. That's crazy, but that sounds about right for 40K universe.
In their mouths. They sometimes cannibalize their enemies. Sometimes they eat people because they gain knowledge about them from there and about battle plans. The Space Wolves are savages. They're raiders. They're Vikings. But despite all of this, they are loyal to their core. Lehman Russ is an egotistical guy who just shouts stories and tales of his accomplishments everywhere they can. But at the same time, he was so damn loyal that instead of gunning down his foes, he hit him with a fucking backbreaker to show his devotion to wrestling. If you want Vikings in space, you found it. Play the Vikings in space.
We're gonna build the wall. We have no choice. We have no choice. Build that wall. Build that wall.
Did he really use Trump? These guys I have heard about in his previous videos. They specialize in defense, the art of defense, everything has to do with it, fighting against a siege. So I want to hear more about them and their Primarch.
Build that wall.
The Imperial Fists. Allegiance, Loyalist. Primarch, Rogel Dorn. A builder, a phalanx, and
Dude,
he
that
needs a
armor.
hand. Single word
what?
descriptor, fortify. The Imperial Fists are led by Primarch Rogel Dorn on their homeworld of Inuit. However, they themselves are actually a fleet-based chapter with their main source of recruitment coming from an enormous moon-sized ship called the Phalanx. The Fists are a chapter you think of when you think of duty. They love to serve. The love to serve and the inability to be moved. Rogel Dorn is an architect, a master builder, and basically a rock in brain and body. A lack of humor or ability to lie shows that he is as blunt as the weapons of war.
So he's a loyal stick in the mud, basically. No sense of humor. Everything's work, work, work. I'm trying to figure out their aesthetic because it seems like every Marine Legion has an aesthetic that it bounces off some type of historical army aesthetic. I don't know. Let me know.
War he creates, not the swords he makes, but like blunt, strong weapons. The Fists are the same. Take your archetypical American Marine style look, a buzz cut, a hard sense of duty, and then throw in some power armor and a love for building defenses, and you have the Imperial.
That looks very
Fists.
Legion-esque.
They are immovable. When you find spots,
Roman
they're ready to defend. You can't
legions.
breach them. Their knowledge of defensive warfare is paramount. Without them, the Horus Heresy would have been so much more effective, but thanks to their insane and immovable tenacity, the Imperium lives today. And let's not forget that Iron Warrior and Imperial Fist rivalry. Want to know why the Iron Warriors are so bitter? These guys are the reason why.
Hey, guys! Bring the thing!
I want to see this.
Where is he going?
I want to see this. What is this from? It looks hilarious.
Hey! Hey, that could have killed me! Hey, guys! We missed! Get another!
Dorn and Perturabo are basically two sides of the same coin. One is just a bit more level-headed and got better jobs. If you want to be defensive, to be good at everything Space Marines are good at, bolters, heavy weapons, vehicles, you want a classic military fighting force, start fisting.
I am having a very bad day.
So far, I like the Imperial Fists. I think of what I've seen so far, I like the Imperial Fist. I also like the Ultramarines for their aesthetic. But I think, and I like the Chameleons too. From what I think that was the Chameleons, yeah, that I saw of them and their backstory. But I want to hear more.
Hey, this today is one of the worst
Night
days.
Lords.
Oh boy. Oh boy, here we go. The Night Lords. Allegiance, heretic. Primarch, Conrad Kurz. A sadist, a vigilante, depresso espresso. Single word, fear. The Night Lords are my favorite legion, hailing from Nostromo and their Primarch, Conrad Kurz. They are a traitor legion from a planet known as the Sunless World, or the World of Endless Night. Nostromo is a horrible hive city that is known for being host.
So, he did a quick little cut there. Their planet got destroyed. How did that get destroyed? What happened? What's the story behind that? And he may say it in a minute here, but which Chaos God do they serve? Or do they not serve any particular one and just serve Chaos as a general thing?
It's just some of the worst gang violence, murder, and working conditions around. The only thing keeping the population in check is the suicide rate. The Night Lords followed in the footsteps of their Primarch, a man who believed in a twisted sense of justice and that the only way to make humans compliant is through fear. The Legion's lesson has been lost on them, as their ranks were repopulated by gang members, murderers, arsonists, torturers, and other words I can't say on YouTube, as young as 12 years old. Murderers before they were even teenagers, raised to become demigods. Now, fear is what they sow, and flesh is what they reap.
Pretty
the Night
disturbing.
Lords are scum. They are the exact opposite of all other legions. They torture and they maim and they flay because they...
Sounds like the Dark Eldar of Space Marines. Maybe I'm off with that, but that's the vibe I'm getting.
They think it's fun. They run away often so they can come back and kill you with more numbers. They prey on the innocent and the weak. They kill normal civilians because it's easy, and flee any battle where they don't possess overwhelming odds. They are the antithesis of normal Space Marines. They are scum. One time, a world did not comply to their demands, so they raided one of their ships and brought it into atmosphere. The crowds cheered and clapped as it appears that they had won the battle, and the airlocks opened and the skinned and flayed bodies of the crew were thrown down in the populace. In other words,
it's raining men.
a legion of gangers and criminals. Add together a heavy Slavic influence to them,
I get that.
and you've got my favorite
I could totally
faction.
get that.
You have not done the dishes for 5 years. So embarrassed when people come over here.
What does it matter? You bring them over, you kill them. Vampires don't do dishes.
The Blood Angels. Allegiance, loyal. Primarch, sanguineous. An angel, a vampire, a dead-ass motherfucker. Single word descriptor, blood. The Blood Angels are 9th Legion, hailing from the homeworld of Baal, with their Primarch, Sanguinius.
Please,
The Blood
that
Angels are a
Baal.
tragic tale with one of the best Primarchs, one beloved by almost everybody, a genuine angelic figure who led his people to glory, killed by the hands of the traitor Horus before the Emperor's eyes. The death of their Primarch led the entire Legion to madness as their gene seed malfunctioned and created something known as the Black rage. The Blood Angels degrade over time, experiencing something called the Red Thirst, which gives them a genuine vampiric thirst for blood.
So, excuse me. Sounds cool. And is he really truly dead, the Primarch? Because I've heard in 40K, people can come back that people thought were long dead. I know they're still writing stories about the Horus Heresy. That's still more information coming out. Who thinks he's actually dead? Do you think he'll come back? Is he for sure dead? I don't know.
As their minds degrade and break down, they get angrier and angrier, becoming berserk killing machines with no other goal than to tear everything in sight apart. But they don't see it as that. They see themselves there, at their Primarch's demise, with Horus in sight. And to them, it's time for vengeance. That Space Marine over there, that Chaos Space Marine, that's Horus. Kill him. That Orc War Boss over there, Horus. Kill him. That Tyranid Swarm, 1,000 Horuses. Horai. Kill them all. Did your toast come out a little bit burnt? Horus sabotaged your toaster. Destroy the toaster. Destroy it. Do it. Do it. Kill your toaster. Do it. This slow, debilitating disease takes over the Blood Angels, and it gives them this angelic, vampire, and Catholic-inspired imagery. They have chalices of blood. They rest in coffins and can even use psychic powers to sprout angel wings from their bodies. They are a tragedy through and through, and the only thing that will look more tragic are the mangled bodies of those they come in contact.
Look at the Space Marines with wings. Or is that Space Marines? I can't tell. I don't know the figures for the tabletop very well, because I've never played it. I've never bought any, but I've heard it's a very expensive hobby to get into. But that's cool.
With.
I got a diesel engine, and honey, we forgot to mention, we're gonna take your job away.
The Iron Hands. Allegiance, loyalist. Primarch, Ferrus Manus, a machinist, an inventor, and not a great head on his shoulders. Single word? Bionic.
The Seinfeld music.
Bionic! The Iron Hands are from the home planet of Medusa and their Primarch, Ferrus Manus. Does Ferrus Manus have an iron hand? You fucking know he's got an iron hand. The Iron Hands believe that the flesh is weakness. But despite all of their enhancements, despite all the things that made them demigods, replacing some of the flesh with bionics will allow them to serve the Emperor more. They go hard into vehicles and dreadnoughts. Dreadnoughts being giant walking sarcophagi that
they remind me of Mechanicus, the cult Mechanicus, but maybe not, still serving the Emperor, not the Omnissiah, but with replacing body parts and getting into vehicles and mechs and armor. That's it.
Have wounded Space Marines piloting them from the inside. Vehicles, metal upgrades. These are the things that make up this legion. Their tech marines have servo arms sticking out from all directions. They have a wide array of mechanics and extremely often replace limbs with metal ones, serving all kinds of different functions to deal with their enemies. The Iron Hands are also not particularly nice. They're kind of assholes. I mean, Marines are already normally pretty big assholes, but they're a little bit up there because of their flesh, civilians made of flesh, because you see, the flesh is weak. Flesh is corruptible. Bionics, the strength of the machine is pure and cannot so easily be corrupted. So if you want people who have this little techno-fetishistic vibe to them, that love their vehicles and their walking coffins, hit up the Iron Hands.
Understand, Commander?
I like it.
I was never here.
Legion 11.
Oh no. So I get that there's something behind Legion 11 and Second Legion. That may be the two legions. When he talks about 20 and then he goes to 18, I'm guessing that's those two. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm way off.
Hello there. I have returned from touching grass. I know. I'm pretty cool with the grass touching and Now let's continue our Warhammer lecture.
This ruffles my jammies.
Oh, the World Eaters.
Okay, so what's going on here?
So I do know that the World Eaters serve corn. They are a traitor legion. I've seen them, their aesthetic in the game, Space Marine 2, and they look badass. But I'd like to hear more about them.
I am the super sandwich.
The World Eaters. Allegiance, Heretic. Primarch, Angron. A butcher, a slaughterer.
Like extremely, earth-shatteringly, unreasonably fuck-ass mad.
Single word descriptor, anger. Hey you! Yeah, you! Are you mad? Do you just fucking hate everything? Do you want to murder everything in sight and get rewarded for doing so?
I can't lie. It's me all the time. I am not the most social of people in dealing with people, driving, commuting to work. I get angry. So maybe that's why I like this chaos Marine faction.
Then you should join the World Eaters. Home planet of Nuceria and Primarch Angron, who, if the name didn't suggest, is real fucking angry. Angron was raised a slave, forced to fight in gladiator pits. When he refused, they shoved old world tech into his brain so that if he ever felt any emotion other than anger, it caused him extreme pain. All his sons, wanting to be like their dad, also put a version of these nails in their brain. So now you have an entire legion who literally feel unimaginable pain if they are feeling any emotion other than anger. Slap them with a freight train of armor, 2 goddamn chainsaw axes, and you can see what's gonna happen. It's no wonder they're corrupted by corn. They're honestly a surprisingly sad legion that I actually screwed up in assuming that they were all just angry murderers. I mean, they are, but they...
Dude, that's wicked. Yeah, when he told the story before, he didn't really go into the depth that if he refused to fight, they put stuff in his brain to make him more angry. That's pretty messed up. I can't lie there. It's pretty messed up.
They didn't start out that way. Their corn corruption degraded their intelligence, their free will, and made powerful warriors into arguably even more powerful warriors, but blunt, like frothing at the mouth psycho warriors. The World Eaters, like I mentioned, the Space Wolves, they wear their concept on their sleeve. They are angry, they want to kill things, they want to kill you and maybe some of their friends, and that's the faction. They're red, they're mad, they're gonna run at you and cause death. If you like that, you play the World Eaters. Or you like it because they were, you know, at one point a lot better than that. Most of Warhammer was a lot better than that. I was once a lot better than that. That was when I was in college. I didn't finish college, and neither did Angron.
The Ultramarines.
Hail, Caesar. If it's not done by sunrise, I'll cut your balls off.
The Ultramarines. A legion?
This is the legion I probably know the most about, just from playing the games and whatnot, but I still don't know a lot, so... But they are like the poster boy Marines for Warhammer. That's what I understand.
Loyalists. Primarch Rabute Gilliman. That's how...
Wait, has his shirt always been blue, or is he... Am I just now noticing that he's changing his shirt color based on the Marine Legion that he's talking about? that's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's how it's said. An analyst, a diplomat, a blueberry Boy Scout. Single word descriptor, duty. When you see Space Marines on a box or just Space Marines in promotional material, notice how they are always colored blue. These are the blue Space Marines. These ones here, the Ultramarines, who hail from the world of Macrogge with their Primarch, Rabute Gorilla Man. Ultramarines are the white bread of Space Marines, the grilled chicken with salt and pepper. This is by no means an insult. They are plain Jane, but that's also because they are so goddamn good at their job. Their skill for warfare is paramount, but so is their ability for leadership. Gilliman for a while was a damn boring Primarch for all the reasons he was great, because no matter how hard you try, you don't win a war without logistics, without supply lines, without trade routes.
So talking about their Primarch, I don't know if he was, because I've heard people talk, I've had guys I know that know more about this than me that told me that maybe he was dead or just in a coma state or something, and the most recent 40k lore has brought him back, and they're hinting at future stuff for the Emperor. I want to look into that story of Their Primarch coming back. If you know the name of that book, just put it in my comments.
Without infrastructure and economy. You don't win anything without all that stuff, and Gilliman knows it. Which is why he has one of the largest standing empires in the Imperium, named Ultramar. Which is why his sons are the most recognizable of all the Space Marines. Which is why the only thing that rivals the...
Yes, that's what I've heard, is he's not... their Primarch's not necessarily the strongest Primarch, but he's a strategist, and he knows you need an economy, you need infrastructure, you need all the little logistics and stuff, not just being thriving at warfare and being the strongest and fastest. You need other things as well, which I find cool.
Weight of their victories is the weight of their egos. They are good at everything and bad at nothing. They are great at everything. Other legions can do other things better than them, but they are good at everything. The most interesting thing about the Ultramarines is their characters, as they are all now inflicted with various amounts of Ultra depression for many reasons. Gilliman is, at the time of recording, the only playable Primarch currently on the tabletop, and the only one that has returned to the 41st millennium for the Loyalist side. He took one look at what his empires become and immediately wanted to fucking die.
This is exactly what I was referring to. But he's going into more, so I want to hear this.
Forced to lead everything he once hated, an Imperium rotten to its core, with his sole responsibility to save it.
They had the guy from that meme. That's funny.
Kind of what makes him interesting. They are a perfectly standard legion with perfectly standard ideals, and great if you want a simple, clean slate.
Uh-oh, stinky. Funny poop. Poop funny.
The Death Guard. Allegiance?
Okay, I'm just assuming they serve Nurgle based on the art. Funny poop.
Heretic. Primarch, Mortarion. A Reaper. A Poison. An ungodly stench. Single word descriptor? Rot. The Death Guard hail from Barbaros, with the Primarch Mortarion.
So their planet blew up too? What's the story behind that? I don't think he's going to get into it, but I'm just curious.
14th Legion were known for their incredible resilience to damage.
That's a lot of damage.
Where the Imperial Fists were defensive thanks to tactics and posturing, the Death Guard were resilient because they could take a punch or a gut shot or a cannon to the chest and just keep on moving. They are slow, yet they are resistant, which was only confounded as a Death Guard captain, Typhus, codename Dickhead, sold them out to Nurgle, god of rot and decay. Now, the Death Guard are a Nurgle-worshipping infected...
I don't even know anything about who that guy was. He just mentioned the Dickhead, but yeah, if you know more about that, just throw it in the comments, please.
Legion, whose ability to feel pain and take damage has...
Oh, that is messed up. You see the helmet, but you see like a tongue slithering out from in it. That just reeks of Nurgle.
All but just gone away. They wade through gunfire, able to kill normal Marines 10 times over and continue unharmed, all while spreading rot and disease in the name of their dark, very stinky master. Where the Death Guard enter, plague spreads. People get sick and they die. They spread debilitating disease to all around them. Why would a legion need to be anything more than very tanky when their enemies are falling over, puking, firing out of both ends, and having their skin peel off just by their presence?
Wow.
Entire worlds infested with a zombie rot, swarms of
I fought those zombies in Darktide. We actually played that the other night. Fantastic game. The game pace, the visuals, the music. If you haven't played Darktide, go check it out. It's a couple years old. I'm just now recently discovering it. And been having a blast with it with my buddies. We play at least one night a week for a couple hours. If you want to see me play that, go check that out every Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern.
That eat flesh and metal alike, all while the Legion advances slowly, painfully, allowing the disease they spread to take its toll before they reap the lives they believe belong to them. And look at Mortarion's model, dude. The man is baller as fuck. A gigantic moth with a gigantic scythe.
Dude, the painting and the quality of these little models, and I know they're tiny. I know the Primarch's a little bigger than the regular Marines or soldiers. I have not been disappointed with any of the models, and that looks wicked. Yeah, that's the Nurgle aesthetic down to the core.
Come on now. The Death Guard.
For my next trick!
Ah!
I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
The
Thousand Suns. I fought these guys in Space Marine 2. I know there's more psychers involved with them. They serve Tzeentch, so it's all about deception, and you see that in the game where there's voices in your head when you're going through certain sections of the game. This makes me want to play Space Marine 2. I might actually play that after this.
Sons. Allegiance, Heretic. Primarch, Magnus the Red. A scholar, a sorcerer, a fucking nerd. Single word descriptor, magic. The Thousand Sons hail from their...
Okay, I was wrong. He hasn't been changing his shirt. I thought he was changing his shirt color. I was mistaken, but that would have been cool if he did that.
Homeworld of Prospero, with their Primarch Magnus the Red. The final of our 4 major Chaos God factions, the Thousand Sons are disciples of Tzeentch, the Changer of Ways. Heavily inspired by their Egyptian theming, the Legion themselves are slaves to the god of trickery and change. Most of them no longer even having a physical form, reduced to just dust.
Yes, I noticed that in the game, whenever you do a finishing move on one of these Thousand Sun Space Marines, just a bunch of bluish, purplish dust comes spraying out.
Piloting suits of armor at the whim of a sorcerer leader. The Thousand Sons do not deserve their fate. There's a common joke that Magnus did nothing wrong. This is untrue. He has done much wrong. However, he is very sympathetic, mainly because the Space Wolves and Leman Russ sought to end their rivalry through the annihilation of their legion, escaping only through the assistance of the Changer of Ways, and forever changed because of it. Meanwhile, magic is their main tool. Take some Lovecraftian style abilities, the eyes everywhere, and potent spells to be cast at their foes, whether these are bolts of psychic lightning, reversing time itself, opening up portals to unreality, or changing the very fabric of the universe. The Thousand Sons sorcery knows no bounds, and they are very good at it. If you're a fan of like
having fought them in Space Marine 2, they are frustrating as all get out to fight sometimes. Especially not just the Space Marines, but their little minion demons that come out too, or whatever they are. Little bird-like looking creatures.
Wizards, your classic style of spellcaster, and you want a ton of them, combined with a tragic backstory and a Primarch who, like Mortarion, looks fucking baller, and the Thousand Sons are for you.
You fucking asshole! There's no way, you're a fucking cheater. You're such a sore loser. You're a cheater. My dad works at Nintendo!
The Sons of Horus, or the Luna Wolves, or the Black Legion. Allegiance, Heretic. Primarch, Horus, a warlord, a treasured friend, or the traitor himself. Single word descriptor, assault. The Sons of Horus are the formal name of Horus's legion, hailing from the world of Chthoniya. The Sons of Horus themselves...
I take it that a lot of these worlds have been blown up, especially some of the Chaos Marine factions. Again, if you got time in the comments, you got enough enough words to say it in the comments succinctly. What happened to their planet?
Themselves were assault troops. The strength of their attack was some of the most powerful in the legions. While the White Scars may favor speed for their strikes, the Sons of Horus were known for their overall offensive power. It was even said that if the Sons of Horus met the Imperial Fists, they would be at a stalemate for eternity. However, the Sons of Horus are no longer, because, well... They are now instead the Black Legion, led by Abaddon the Despoiler, who claims to succeed where his father failed. The Black Legion are still an offensive and assault-based force, but they act much like the Ultramarines, but for chaos. Your standard black and brass Space Marine, who are known for recruiting in all different kinds of avenues. Anyone can become a member of the Black Legion. Anyone can swear allegiance to the War Master. You gain favored by not...
So, the Black Legion, are they... specifically, and he may be about to talk about that, are they specifically assigned to any one Chaos God? Or are they just kind of in general? And he may say that in a second here, so let's let him talk.
not just one, but all four gods
there you go.
equally. Their famous line, "Let the galaxy burn," is the
So they
best way to
serve
describe
all
them. It
of
doesn't
them
matter
together.
what the outcome is. So long as the Imperium dies, the Black Legion has done its job. They are a legion formed from hatred and spite, with a clear goal in mind, as the Dark Gods are calling and the Black Legion are sure to answer.
Hello. Do you have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ?
No.
It wasn't fucking optional!
The Word Bearers, Allegiance, Heretic. Primarch, Lorgar Aurelian, a preacher, a fanatic, a choir boy. Single word descriptor, zeal. If the Black Legion answer the call of the Dark Gods, what if instead you decide to call the gods first? Well, then the Word Bearers are for you. The 17th Legion, led by Primarch Lorgar on the planet of Colchis.
Don't worry, it's still there.
Originally obsessed.
I get the feeling most of the Chaos Marines homeworlds have been destroyed. It seems like every single one. Just kidding, it blew up.
With worshiping the Emperor of Mankind as a god, they found that despite his divinity, he was not worthy of worship because, you know, he razed their equivalent of Jerusalem to the ground for daring to worship him. Like, could you imagine if God actually showed up and was just like, Jerusalem is stupid, it just destroyed the whole thing? Like, what would that do to your head? But there are gods that want worship and will reward those who do. The Word Bearers are chaos worshippers to a T. All chaos gods. They specialize in demonic rituals, the summoning of demons, and the mutual possession of their own troops. They welcome demons to their bodies to fight as one. They exalt the dark gods themselves for aid, and guess what? They answer. In the world of 40K, Satan doesn't just call you back.
Summon
He
demons.
hops in his GT Mustang and he crashes on your couch. In the world of 40K, your rituals will end with genuine results. The Word Bearers know this. They know through sacrifices, through devotion, through dark baptism, the gods will answer and they will be rewarded. So they use it. They bring forth demons. They bring forth possessions. They bring forth the power of the neverborn, the damned, and those that hide in the dark to bear.
I have seen this art multiple times of Korn with the fire. Looks like fire in the background. That is one of my favorite pictures related to the Chaos Legion or Chaos Gods. It looks just sick.
Against the Imperium. Lorgar sits there, smiling, as the truth he always knew, the existence of gods and the importance of faith is a reality. And it is a tool he is using to rend the galaxy.
Dear Sir Stroke Madam.
Ooh, salamanders.
Fire! Exclamation mark.
Ah, that's right. I was calling them the chameleons earlier. I'm an idiot. Salamanders. Before he gets into that, so there's chaos versions of the Space Marines. When I played Space Marine 2, you're fighting the Thousand Suns, and then you have individual little normal soldiers showing up with them. Do they have versions of the Imperial Guard that, or I can't remember what they called them, divisions or whatever they called them in the Imperial Guard, that have aligned with Chaos as well, that serve and work with certain Space Marine factions that are Chaos aligned? I'd be interested to know that.
Fire! Exclamation mark. Help me!
The Salamanders. Allegiance, Loyalist. Primarch, Vulcan, a Forge Master, a behemoth, a very huggy boy. Single word descriptor, fire. The Salamanders hail from Nocturne, a volcanic planet home to their Primarch Vulcan. They are the largest of the Space Marines, not due to numbers, but rather size. Vulcan, he is an enormous slab of beef, by far the largest of all the Primarchs. However, don't let his size fool you, as he is also the kindest. Salamanders have the juxtaposition of looking frightening, being larger than other Marines, while also boasting an ashy, like coal color skin and blazing red eyes. While
it has a evil look to it, but it looks freaking cool at the same time. but they're good. That's the juxtaposition of they look evil with the red eyes, the dark, coal skin. But they're, I mean, they're. I say they're good, but like he said earlier, they still kill with fire and maim and destroy. But they seem to be more friendly to the average person.
Simultaneously carrying around all manner of flame weaponry. So your average civilian might be spooked, but in reality, they are by far the kindest of all the legions to those civilians. Vulcan believes that to safeguard the Imperium is to, at the end of the day, safeguard its people. So unlike other legions who put their lives far and above the average human, the Salamanders spend significantly more time trying to save them, often taking numerous losses by doing so. They are very independent as well. They're forgers and blacksmiths, maintaining their own weapons and crafting versions of it.
I like that aesthetic or a narrative with this Marine Legion, that they are Marines. They're technically, physically they're above everyone else, normal people, but they take the time to help, and especially in a ultimately shitty universe that 40K is. Not that the IP is shitty, but the universe itself is shitty, but that they were willing to sacrifice themselves to help, regular people. It's kind of cool.
They also have the very rare privilege of being able to see their families even after becoming a Space Marine. They care, which is the funny part, because the 7.5-foot tall giant with flaming red eyes who just reduced a traitor to bubbling metal says, "You have nothing to fear, young citizen. Take my hand." If you enjoy fire, melting things, and being the nicer of the Marines, Salamanders are for you.
I like it.
Sneak attack! Saga, sneak attacks don't.
So I have heard the Raven Guard are more into espionage and more secretive tactics. So I'd like to hear more what he has to say about that.
Work if you yell it out loud.
The Raven Guard. Allegiance, Loyalist. Primarch, Corvus Corax. A raven, a shadow. An industrial dance DJ. Single word descriptor? Stealth. The Raven Guard are the final Loyalist Legion at 19 and hail from the planet Deliverance with Primarch Corvus Corax. If it hasn't been made clear enough already, the Raven Guard are stealth specialists and proficient in all manners of assassination. Despite this, their signature winged jump pack and double lightning claw look is, well, not very stealthy. They are named after, of course, the Raven and embody the entire concept of it as a herald of death. They are stealthy, patient hunters that have no problem.
Oh, those helmets are cool. Looks like a bird helmet. That is awesome. I'm liking the aesthetic behind this. The reconnaissance, surveillance. Yeah, this looks cool. That is a fucking big sniper rifle.
With waiting and waiting and waiting until the moment to strike is at hand. It's not easy being a stealth faction when your stealth involves people in 1 ton of power armor, but they find a way. That, more than anything, should not be used to show how ridiculous 40K is, even though it is, but rather to show how good the Raven Guard are at their jobs. It's not about them sneaking around you without being seen, but it's also about them having lied in wait for so long that it wasn't until they were in striking distance that you even realized they had been there. And also, if you want, edgelord Marines with a long black haircut, pale skin, ravens everywhere, if you want to field
Gothic
assassins and snipers
So are they the Gothic Marines? Not like medieval Gothic, but current day goth. It's funny, but they still seem like a cool faction.
Bound, then the Raven Guard are for you.
He could be in this very room. He could be you. It could be me.
Alpha Legion.
It could even be. Whoa, whoa, whoa! What? It was obvious.
The Alpha Legion. Allegiance, Heretic. Primarch, Alfarius and Omegon. Saboteurs, destabilizers, they're in your walls. Single word descriptor, espionage. Finally, the 20th Legion, the Alpha.
So another Legion that does espionage. So the Ravens are okay. So if you could tell me the major difference between the Ravens and Alpha Legion, the Ravens seem to be more of a sneak around, but use sniper tactics. But these guys are more espionage, James Bond espionage. I guess we'll let him talk about it.
Legion, led by Alfarius and Omegon, the only Legion to have two Primarchs who were split as twins. The Alpha Legion are heretical, we think, and specialize in destabilization of society and armies. Their entire shtick is the Hydra, because when you cut off one head, two more take its place. All of the Alpha Legion look exactly like their Primarch. Olive skin, shaved head. All claim to be Alfarius. All are liars. They make the largest use of sleeper cells.
So there's a meme out there of Alfarius, but someone put Alf's head on him, and they call it Alfarius. I've used that meme a few times, and I had no idea the context behind it other than Alf being a space marine, which is freaking hilarious.
And cultists in the Chaos Space Marine factions, because it's extremely easy to take over a planet when you
Poisoned our water supply, burned our crops, and delivered a plague unto our houses!
Where the Raven Guard use stealth and sabotage to eliminate their enemies, the Alpha Legion prefer to weaken them over time with sleeper agents, impersonations, basically anything you could imagine from a hardcore spy movie or Cold War level espionage. Being Alfarius is not only an honor, being Alfarius is a requirement. There's a story of someone chasing down an Alpha Legion agent for years upon years, and when they finally catch up with them and they see that the agent is wearing the same face as their pursuer, because this was the plan all along, to kill him and take his spot. We're talking facial reconstruction surgery, we're talking hacking, we're talking political assassination and impersonation, everything. They are Space Marines in name only, because being a strong stoic warrior is not what the Alpha Legion is interested in. In fact, the Alpha Legion,
they're about infiltration. It seems very similar in the last, not the last video, but the first video where he talks about factions, and he talked about the assassins, and he talked about the one that's about the infiltrator. I can't remember what the actual name for them was, where they go in, they use body augmentation, they can go in and change the way they look. They could be just trying to get close to the person they need to kill and kill them, or replace them and take over the organization and destroy it from within. That sounds very similar to this.
Legion is interested in you not even knowing that the Alpha Legion is a thing. I am Alfarius. You are Alfarius. We are all Alfarius in his Lord's glorious army. Thank you everyone so much for watching this video. I hope you learned a little something. I hope if you were on the fence about what Space Marines you wanted to field, you would now have a better idea of what you want to play. Buy my Gamer Sub Shaker. It's on sale. It's on pre-order. It's ready to go. Just get it. Just get it. Use code Bricky. It's in the description. Just get it. And a huge thank you to all of my patrons over on patreon.com/Bricky and the...
I'm going to let this video play out. He's made this video. I want to just give him his time to talk, but we'll talk in a second here as our outro goes.
Members on the YouTube channel, your names are here. I thank you a ton. You are all very generous. And, oh, I need to answer a question. Have you ever attempted...
Okay. Well,
touch grass, but end up touching the Destiny 2 loading screen? Oh, damn it. I just...
All right. That was a great video. I've learned a lot. There's still a lot more to learn, because that's still... Even though we got a little bit more focused, it's still a brushstroke. I assume you guys will let me know everything I need to know in my comments. Give me suggestions for some of the questions I had. Again, go check out Bricky's channel on YouTube. It'll be in the description of this video. Also highlighted his links at the beginning of the video. Check that out. I am really enjoying this deep dive into 40K. We're going to do a lot more of these next week over Christmas break. I'm going to be out of town, so I'm going to be recording some extra videos to release during that week. So I won't be able to do any game streams like I normally do, but I'll probably be releasing at least 2 of these during that week, since I won't be able to do any streaming myself. If you like watching me play games, you can go check me out. Friday nights we play Starship Troopers Extermination. Saturdays we play Dark Tide. I just purchased Vermintide. I know absolutely nothing about Warhammer Fantasy. So if you want to watch me play that at some point, we're going to start playing that. But yeah, just check out my channel, check out my playlist. I got a playlist of games that I played in the past. See what you like from there. But other than that, if you like what I do, give me that like, follow, subscribe, and until next time, see ya!